You deserve that.
I mean, that sounds like it's time for my top five.
You finally have your top five ready?
What do you
Oh,
mean?
it's
It's been
been
ready this
ready.
whole time. It
I
He
was
just
ready before the
he
I
show,
never
though.
got it
I
introduced,
you I said go on with it
Oh,
and
you
we
did?
kept
20
talking
minutes
about
ago.
comedians.
Oh,
That's probably
well,
like 40 minutes ago.
I have my top five comedians.
All right,
See, this is
Tybo's
why
top
you gotta
five.
start the show, okay? Like, I don't know if we're just talking like we usually do, and we don't say the welcome back to the show. What's the point of us talking? Okay, I don't know what's going on.
If it's recording, just assume we're going. How about that?
Thank you. That was not explicitly said to me.
Now we know.
Okay,
The more you
now
know.
we know. Thank you, Bill Nye. Not in my top five comedians,
Bill, Bill,
uh,
Bill, Bill.
but should make honorable mention. Dude was hilarious, and I'm all about science. I'm listing my. I'm gonna say my top five favorite comedians. They're not the best comedians of all time. Maybe my number one is undoubtedly the number one.
Are these just
But
stand-up comedians, or can they do other things as well?
so I'm most. These are mostly stand up comedians, but they do. I wouldn't just keep it to that. Like I grew up watching Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey, and they did movies and all sorts of stuff. They also did stand up way back in the day, but I could have put them on the list, but they're not. They're not there. They're my favorite comedians right now. Like who, the ones that have specials on streaming services, the ones that I would put on when I'm bored or have nothing else to do. But then also people who you see clips of on TikTok and Instagram Reels and shit like that. But number five for me right now is Andrew Santino.
He's
Just got
good.
a special on Netflix Cheeseburger. He did Dave, which I think is hilarious on FX. He's
He's a
he's a
ginger.
Lil Dicky. Damn, he's Lil Dicky's manager. Uh, he's pretty funny. Uh, my number four, and probably controversial because so many people just love to hate on SNL and like, yeah, the show isn't what it was, but Michael Che is my number four.
I like it.
I love Weekend Update. When Hulu had SNL, I would always put it on just for Weekend Update. If the other sketches were funny, like then I got a little chuckle out of it, but most of them aren't, and I skip through the music section unless it's really somebody that I like, and they usually just have a bunch of weirdos on there. But Michael Che's stuff is hilarious, and when him and Colin Jost do the jokes that they write for each other, it's gold. I love it.
Such a good segment.
And his recent Netflix special was actually pretty good, in my opinion. Number three, new guy, definitely like the guy that's mostly on TikTok for me. Well, I'm watching it on Instagram. I don't have a TikTok account, but fucking lameo, right? TikTok is cool. Fucking Stavi,
Yeah.
Stavros Halkias, or however you say his name. His crowd work is the best thing to come across when you're scrolling. You don't know what you're gonna get from him because he either roasts the person or is just like, hey, whoa, like it, like you don't know. He roasts him either way, but you don't know how he's gonna roast you. Like, he either makes fun of you or almost like puts you in therapy. Like he's got a couple angles. Uh, but I mean, he's also ugly, and so go ugly dudes. Uh, proud to be. I'm ugly and I'm proud, just like SpongeBob said back in the day. Dude's hilarious. When you own that shit, it is nothing more funny. Number two has uh the second most specials on the list, and the guy that I probably flip on more than everybody else that's on here. But Tom Segura.
Yes.
I had this discussion with my friend the other day. But do you guys watch Two Bears One Cave,
On occasion.
Watch some
or
clips. Yeah.
watch or listen? Fucking Bert Kreischer is absolutely
I love Bert.
can't stand him on his podcast because the screech laugh, or people can do better impressions out there than I can, but he kills it for me sometimes, and I always think Tom's hilarious.
The 30 64 ounces of Kool-Aid though, that was funny.
But again, it ends with Bert
It's
Kreischer.
with him screaming. Yeah, I know. He does that a lot.
The number one is the GOAT, though, man. Dave Chappelle. I think my favorite joke full special is the fucker right in the pussy. Just kick her right in the pussy. That's what is he? Yeah, kick her right in the pussy. Where he brings it back at the end. He told you he was gonna do it. He didn't know how it was gonna happen, but he did it.
Bravo.
He's got
Bravo.
great specials. I love Dave. He's so good.
Grew up on the Chappelle show.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Speaking of your number two right there, funniest thing that I have seen from him, it's also terrible, is him trying to dunk a basketball.
Oh, and then
Completely
he snapped his knees.
snapped his knee and snapped his arm.
Tom Segura.
Yeah.
Tom Segura,
Have you never seen it?
I don't think I've seen the video, but I know he
You gotta watch
references
it.
his injury all the time.
You gotta watch this
You
video
gotta
now.
listen. You gotta listen to the story that he gives. I can't remember if it was on Two Bears One Cave or if it was on Rogan. He gave somebody this. I think it was Rogan. He gave him the story about like how it happened, and he's going to the hospital and just, I think he tore both of his knees, and like all the ligaments in his knees, and then like dislocated and broke his arm.
Yeah, not an athletic guy. Should not have been trying to do that at all. And speaking of Joe Rogan, before I saw his special in like 2018 or something like that, the Triggered special, I had zero idea that he was a comedian.
He's a pretty decent comedian.
I didn't
His
know that
specials
he had other specials before that too, and I never knew that they were out there. I thought he was just the podcast dude and Fear Factor guy.
His specials are like, I feel that they're pretty mediocre, but I've seen the clips of where he goes into comedy clubs, kind of like the Improv, and like he can kill. Really, like he's actually really good in those sort of settings. I'm not a big fan of his specials.
Mm.
I mean, podcast clips that I come across are hilarious sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But he's had a podcast out for a long time now. Like one of the first big names that you really think of when it comes to podcasts.
One of
And
the
I
first
didn't
podcasts.
I didn't get too much into it, but we have a friend from college that was gung ho talking about it. Miri.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah. So we heard about his shit all the time.
He's got a good one. I enjoy listening to it on occasion, depending on the guests.
Yeah, it's
Heavily
gotta be a good
dependent on the
guest.
guest. Yeah.
Heavily.
That's a good list, though.
Thanks.
It's a decent list.
That's who I'm vibing with right now.
Okay.
I like it. I like you have you heard any of Chris DiStefano?
Chrissy.
He's good. I his podcast with
I'm
the
not the
dude
biggest
from
fan of
Impractical Jokers is really the Hey Babe podcast, I think it is, but he's with the dude from Impractical Jokers.
Sal.
Hilarious. Is it Sal? Yeah, I think it's Sal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I don't think I've ever, because I'm usually coming across videos of that when I'm scrolling on social media. So I don't think I've ever made it through a full video of any one of either of them together. Chrissy's got some that hit, but he doesn't hit on everything for me.
Fair.
There's a lot of guys out there like that right now. There's actually a handful of female comedians that I could have given some honorable recognition to that I do. It's not Taylor Tomlinson. There's I can't think of her name, but she was allergic to latex and found it out by fucking sticking some sort of manicure tool up her vagina, and it was just like turned into like a puffy, like closed up. She's hilarious to me. I
Nikki
can't think of her
Glazer
name either.
is pretty funny.
Eh.
So you
I
got
don't
to
know.
say about that, just
That's all I have to say about that.
Ralph Barbosa, new up and comer. I like him quite a bit. We should go watch him down at the Improv.
What's the night? What's the date, fella?
I'll let you know. I don't remember
Is
off the
he
top of my head.
related? Is he related to Leandro Barbosa?
do you even know who that is?
The name is familiar. I don't know why I can't think of who it is because
One
I
of the
know who it is.
prettiest looking shots in the NBA history.
That would be why I don't remember. NBA sucks.
Hey,
John
man, it's been
Morant.
exciting lately. A lot of exciting stuff happening around the NBA
John,
lately, man.
John Morant's about to get like a 3-year ban.
No, he's not.
But he's got to deal with Smith and Wesson.
He's He took a gun on a team airplane. That's a minimum 50-game suspension.
They don't know if he took a gun on the team airplane. He just had a gun in an Instagram video. They don't know how it got
in
there, if it was
Colorado.
his, if it was somebody else that he was with. They have no idea about all that yet.
Yeah, he's being investigated, and then he'll miss a couple of seasons.
All I know
Gilbert
is that the
Arenas.
guy in our fantasy basketball league has Ja Morant and LeBron James. LeBron's hurt right now, might not be back for all of the playoffs. And if Ja Morant really does get suspended, he's in first place right now with a ridiculous record. He's just going to shit the bed in the playoffs.
Well,
he's
currently on an indefinite suspension.
No, you know what the best thing about this dude is? This is his first good year in fantasy ever. Ever.
And I'm in the playoffs, so I have a chance to win.
Ja is already indefinitely suspended by the team. A league sanction hasn't come down because they're investigating.
That was for 2 games, though.
No.
It was 3.
No. They have come back and they have revoked the 2-game suspension. He is now indefinitely suspended.
No, he's not indefinitely suspended. He's just indefinitely away from the team. He was suspended the 2 games. He's seeking help himself.
Quote. Indefinitely away, quote unquote. He is indefinitely suspended.
Semantics.
Exactly. They're not going to say it's a suspension.
Exactly. We got to have his back, man. We got to have his
back. No, they're not going to say it's a suspension.
These carries are getting out of hand in the NBA these days.
Are you seeing this shit?
Call the damn penalty. They call them penalties in the NBA?
No, they call them fouls.
Foul. But a violation. Carrying violation? Yeah.
There you go.
I just want one ref, like just every time up the court when they do this.
What do you mean, ref? What were you talking about?
Whistle? I just want one game that there's a whistle on every possession.
Well, I know they didn't
Harry
podcast platform.
I think that would get ratings. I think they would, go flip the philosophy on its head. No points. The first NBA game that was decided by single-digit points.
You know what gets better viewership?
Yeah,
both teams only scored single-digit points.
Cut the amount of games. That gets you more viewership. Cut the amount of games.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons. Like, I'm not a big basketball person.
Cut the amount of games and have a mid-season tournament.
No, fine. I don't care. Like,
I like the mid-season tournament idea of cutting games.
One of the reasons why myself and I know a lot of other people can't get into basketball as a whole is college, not as much as the NBA, but both seasons are way too long. The games aren't super duper important the way that they play them. Like, let's cut it down a little. I said college not as much, but like specifically in the NBA is like, let's cut down the amount of games.
I think it would make sense if you were talking about NBA and baseball. They need to cut baseball. Well, yeah, baseball too.
Baseball too. Like that's the big one.
Baseball's already boring.
Fine, leave it where it is. Whatever. Like I'm not a big college. I'm not a big basketball person. I'll watch March Madness, but when it comes to the NBA and baseball, man, I ain't watching shit. I ain't even watching the playoffs.
Shit.
7 games? You need 7 games to figure out.
Yeah,
3. That's the 3. Best of three. Get it moving. Get it moving.
I agree with the first round, yeah, but like after that, you gotta have 7.
Get it moving.
Man,
Make the
I
finals
like
7 games. That's fine. You really need 7 games to figure everything else out. Give them
Yeah,
3. Move on. You got a couple knockout rounds where it's
doesn't
one
doesn't the
game,
Stanley
a
Cup
couple
stair
rounds
step
where
it
it's
like
3.
that? Like it's the best of
No,
5 the first couple rounds,
probably.
and then it's best of
yeah.
7.
I don't watch hockey.
NBA used to be like that, but they
Probably.
switched it around.
I it,
Yeah, and then their
I don't
viewership
watch regular
tanks.
season hockey. I do keep track of my team, and I will watch Stanley Cup playoffs.
Rugby stuff's been hitting my timeline, my Twitter
Your
timeline,
titter?
and my
Titter?
Twitter timeline,
That's a
and
different
my
social media site, bud. Twitter has a section of Twitter that's Titter.
it's true. And my YouTube timeline have been
Always
consumed
retweet the
by
porn.
if you're Doc Rivers.
Or if you're a lot of people.
That's true. But my Twitter and my YouTube timeline has been filled with a lot of rugby stuff. Still don't understand the sport. Kind of cool. Don't understand it.
I'm on a weight loss journey, and I'm going to join a team either the fall season or spring season next year.
You and me both. Let's get it.
I'll be in
You'll
Florida.
be down in. I know. I meant like the weight loss thing. Fuck you,
Oh.
asshole.
I thought you were talking about the rugby thing, man.
You can go play for KCRFC, buddy.
I don't understand rugby.
They'll teach you.
Lateral the ball. That's about all I know.
You just lateral it one of like 7 different ways.
I don't get the scrums. Like I saw a video, it was pretty cool, but like they got into a scrum and then they kept moving, and then like people would peel off, but like then they couldn't rejoin the scrum, and like you just keep and then they ended up scoring, and there was
Are
like
you
3
thinking
people.
of a
It didn't make
mall
sense.
instead of a
I don't know.
scrum?
I don't know what the hell it's called.
Like
It's a
I said,
bunch
they
of
would
people
teach
that are
you. It does.
together, and then
It's
just
literally
like people
you
peel
go out
off.
for
Like
like a few practices and you'll
why
fucking
can't
learn
I
the game.
join back in? Why can't I just join back in this big pile of meaty men?
I think you might be getting something confused with something here, but
I think you're watching the wrong thing,
Rugby
man.
bud. Rugby bud.
I don't know if that's rugby
Short
videos you're
shorts,
watching,
tight
but
t-shirts.
Were
and
these
tape.
men naked?
Short shorts, t-shirts, and tape? Could have turned into
Lots of-
something afterwards. I
that
don't
could
know.
be a lot of stuff right there. Bud.
It's more fun than football. If you're in shape for it and you can keep moving the whole game or the whole time that you're in the game, it's way more fun than football. There's more hits.
I like pickup soccer. A little 5-a-side, 11-a-side. It's pretty fun.
Tackle soccer.
You
How
can
about
tackle
that?
in soccer.
Not really. Not like I can't form tackle somebody in the open field.
You could.
That's illegal, isn't it?
I didn't say it was legal. I just said you could.
The kids got mad at me for that back in the day. That's why I didn't
I've
play
seen
soccer.
it happen.
Like,
I've watched the Premier League. I've seen some form tackles. I may not
And
say
with
it's
I
that-
believe in that.
And with that, as always, go Chiefs.
Are we a soccer podcast now?
Could be. Go Chiefs!
Oh, geez.